please stick around for the end of this video so I can give you a bit of an update as to what I'm talking about in this video, because this turned up literally just a few days after I filmed, and I think it's worth an update. Choosing a tyre has a load of factors involved, a load of variables. Where do you live? What car are you putting the tyres on? What's your usage pattern? What's the worst case scenario? And that's something that I always try and base my tyre choice on, the worst case scenario. Whether that's an emergency stop situation that you'll only come across 1, 2, 3 times a year, or really, really bad winter weather, which again in the UK is probably only 1, 2, 3 times a year. But it's those times when you want the tyres to do their best. That's when you really need to think, what tyre is the best for us? Anyone that says, or any group or forum that says, this is the best tyre for a Tesla Model 3. It simply cannot be true for all people. You can have a choice that's good, but ultimately one thing has changed our tyre choice, which has nothing to do with the car it's going on. So a generic statement just isn't enough when choosing the right tyre. So that's essentially what I want to talk about in this video. What's changed for us after years of using these things, the all-season tyres, to jump into the proper winter/summer tyre combination. So what's changed for us? Why are we going for these Alpin 7 winters over the cross climates that we've used for years? Only one tiny variable has changed, and it's nothing to do with the car, it's to do with our usage. And that's dictated a change of tyre choice, not tyre choice, tyre choice. And this is what I mean by there isn't a one-size-fits-all statement that says this is the best tyre for you. So let me give you the scenario that's made us change our tyre choice. My wife works for the emergency services. If, let's say, it's really bad weather, it's really snowy, we're in winter and the white stuff has started to fall, she has to get to work. You would not accept if you rung 999, someone going, yeah, I couldn't get in today, it's snowing, so can we come tomorrow? She's not a teacher, not going to shut the entire place up because it's snowing. That probably explains why you never see teachers with winter tyres on. Huh. Before anybody has a go at me for that one, I spent nearly 2 decades working in schools until recently. It's an inside joke, it's just a bit of fun. Selfishly, for me personally, I'm not so bothered about her getting to work as opposed to getting back from work. And this is the slight change which has made us change our choice. She is now almost exclusively finishing between midnight and 4, 5 a.m. So she's 20 miles away in the centre of Bradford, finishing at 2, 3 in the morning. If the weather's really bad, that's not a situation I want her to be in, or me for that matter. It is a worst case scenario, but just like an emergency braking situation, you want the tyres at your worst moment, at the worst possible scenario. And that's essentially what we might now face. It's almost, well, it's not guaranteed, but it's quite likely that we'll have a good amount of snowfall at least once, especially here in North Yorkshire. And then she's at work, 2 in the morning, I get a phone call saying I'm stuck. That is something I want to avoid. I do not want to be woken up at 2 in the morning. The old seasons we've had for years would probably suit 90–95% of what I'm talking about. But it's that extra 5–10% that I want. Nothing's guaranteed, but this is going to give us the best capability in the snow. We live in North Yorkshire, as I said, and we're kind of above that snow line. Do you know where you see snow on the hills and then it just stops? There's a line. We're typically slightly above that. This street could be covered in snow and 2 streets further down the hill, nothing. That's always been the case, but now this nighttime finishing has changed that because it will be colder at night, it will probably be worse weather at night, and that for me is enough to go, you know what, let's do it properly. The benefits don't end there though. By having these winter tyres, we have then summer tyres in summer. So we've got the best solution in summer, we've got the best solution in winter, and ultimately that's an added benefit. There are a few issues as well, a few compromises if you will. We have to have somewhere to store the other set of tyres that we're not using when these are in use. Not everybody has that capability to store the tyres, and this might not be an option for them. And you've got the extra cost, of course, of switching the tyres over twice a year from winter to summer and summer to winter. Tyres are a bit of give and take. Typically if you gain in one aspect, you're losing another one, or a little bit anyway. Like Formula 1, you want soft tyres, you get more grip, but they don't last as long. It's an extreme example, but you get my point. So we're going to have to store tyres, we're going to have to pay for the changeover, but for me, it's a small price to pay for essentially making sure that in that worst case scenario, we've got the best capabilities of getting home, or to work, or whatever. If it's starting to snow and I'm at work, I can go, better get home, just in case the snow gets bad. I don't want to get stranded. Again, she does not have that option. Another thing I picked up on when speaking to people about this, as in what choice do you make in winter, a lot of people call these snow tyres as opposed to winter tyres. I find that quite interesting because these are winter tyres, they are not snow tyres. Clearly a major advantage in snow, but they're designed for winter, they're designed for when the temperature drops. It's not just about the tread pattern, it's about the compounds as well, and this is something which I think is missed quite a bit. The rubber in a summer tyre, for example, that's designed to have a certain amount of flexibility given the temperatures that it's going to be operating on. But when a summer tyre gets too cold, then those compounds harden a little bit. They're not as optimal as they were or are in summer. Whereas a winter tyre, the compounds are designed to operate in cold weather. Typically, you would switch over when it's below 7 degrees Celsius. So when it's consistently below that, that's when the winters go on. And when it flips the other way and it gets too warmer, then you put the summers back on. So it's not just about the tread, it's not just about gripping into snow. They're not just snow tyres. The compound and many other factors I've not even touched on in this video dictate why this is a benefit in winter, not just in snow when it gets bad for the 2 or 3 days of the year. So to answer the question of which is best, winter or all-season tyres, the answer is, of course, it depends. Everybody is different. You need to look at your situation, your variables, and then base it on that, not just on what car it's going on. It's the location. Again, there's many factors to consider. And this is something I want to look at in terms of the entire range of tyres, from summer to performance, to winter, to all-season, to EV type. All those. I want to look at those in the future video, but look at you, look at what you do, where you live, and what car it goes on as well. So Tesla recommend, and they come with, or they came with, did this Model 3, the Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, the OEM ones with the foam insert. And in summer, I'm absolutely going to be using them. They're the best fit for this car. But in winter, they're not. I want either the all-season or these. So this is what I mean by you need to just put your own little bit of research into it and pick what's best for you in your situation. Location's a big part of it, of course. North Yorkshire's going to suffer from worse winters than somewhere down south. My parents live in Clacton-on-Sea. That's down south, and they rarely see snow. But when they do see snow, one snowflake, that town loses their minds. They cannot cope, it's the apocalypse. But these are probably a bit overkill, because it's such a rare event, it doesn't really affect much. It's more the lack of capability of the UK road network than the cars themselves, which stop people driving around. One person gets stuck, no one else can get past them. So I would probably go for the Cross Climate 2s in their situation, whereas for us it's these, the Alpin 7 winter tyres. So that's just yet another example of same car, different choice. Oh, and it does give me one other thing to think about personally that I need your help with, because I'm a self-confessed tyre nerd. I love talking about tyres and capabilities. I don't know why, it's just an interest of mine. What do I put the tyres on? So I'm storing these in my garage. What have you got on your wall to store tyres? For anybody that does this, not shelving so much as, tyre racks, tyre mounts. Give me links to things that ultimately I can use, and I want to pimp my garage out. I want tyre racks, I want tools. What's the best storage solution? Give me your ideas. Right, well, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you've had a great Christmas, you'll have an even better new year, and you won't see bad enough weather to justify, well, Michelin Alpin 7 winter tyres. Right now here in North Yorkshire, it's about -6, -7 degrees Celsius. As you can see, the snow's turned up, and, well, it's been the perfect justification for the reasons why we went for the winter tyres. Now this has happened, because this is literally the worst case scenario that we were thinking of. Yesterday she went to work, it was just wet, but then this turned up, And for once, the weather service got it right, but I wasn't even looking outside. The curtains were closed, and I got a message from her saying, I'm really worried because I'm here for another 4, 5, 6 hours, and, well, I don't know if I'll get home. She got home after finishing, I think it was 4:30 a.m, 20 miles away in Bradford, as I said. No issues at all. She passed, apparently, from what she's told me, multiple cars that were just stuck at the side of the road, abandoned. Oh, sorry, it's very, very cold. So they essentially got her all the way home into the garage, no issues at all. And the reason why I'm stood next to this car now, this is the Model S, is because she's gone back to work now. People are struggling to get in. She's got to get to work, as I said earlier, and she's pretty much got there again with very few issues. There's no public transport whatsoever. There's no buses. I've no idea about the trains, but that's not an option for us anyway. And at the bottom of our road, it's an A road. It's a main bus route. It's a major road, and there's just nobody using it. Again, the buses are all off. There's nothing out there because nobody's stupid enough to go out in this. I mean, you still have to be very careful, of course. They're not a guarantee that you can just do what you like. But when you have to do something, whether it's getting home or getting to it and then back again, because it's set to continue as this snow for the next at least day or two, possibly longer here in North Yorkshire, we've done what we can. The justification for what we've done is clear for me, and it's a shame in some ways that we couldn't have done this in, combined anyway with the cross climates, with all season tyres and the winter tyres, because the cross climate 2s from Michelin, they've got that 3 Peaks snow logo on. That means that they would have been very, very capable in this weather. But it's a sort of snow where, well, it was frozen before, and we had a sheet of ice before the snow fell. So it's that ice with snow on top sort of nightmare, which is stranding people. Again, the cross climates are the best solution if you can't go down the winter tyre route that we've clearly done. I'm going to stop this now because I really am freezing. And thank you for watching. I hope you have a good 2025. And thank you to the YouTube gods for providing this weather to highlight exactly what I was talking about. It doesn't happen that often. So thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye.